The rain hammered against the windshield as Daniel's headlights cut through the storm. His wipers struggled against the downpour when he spotted her, a woman in a soaked white dress standing motionless beneath a broken streetlight, her dark hair plastered to her face. Against his better judgment, he stopped. She slid into the back seat without a word. The car filled with the scent of wet earth and something metallic. Daniel's rearview mirror showed only the top of her head. She never looked up, just sat perfectly still, water pooling around her bare feet. Rough night to be out, Daniel tried. No response. At the next intersection, he turned to ask her destination. The back seat was empty. His heart lurched. He'd never felt the car door open. But there, gleaming under the dome light, was a single handprint on the leather seat, palm too large to be a woman's, fingers abnormally long, the mud streaked as if something had dragged itself out. 3 nights later, Daniel jolted awake at 3:07 a.m. His golden retriever stood rigid at the bedroom window, a growl building in its throat. Through the blinds, a pale figure stood in the center of his backyard, the same white dress, now pristine. Then she looked up. Black voids where eyes should be. A grin splitting her face ear to ear. Daniel stumbled back as his motion-activated floodlights clicked on. The yard was empty. The next morning, his security camera notification chimed. The timestamp read 3:09 a.m. The footage showed the woman crawling toward his house on all fours, her head twisted 180 degrees, black eyes locked on the lens, moving in jerky reverse. To be continued. The scratching started on a Tuesday. At first, Mia wrote it off as mice. Then came the voices. Help me, Mimi. Her blood turned to ice. That was her little brother's voice, his childhood nickname for her that no one else knew, coming from inside the bedroom wall. But Jake was at college 200 miles away. The next night, it got worse. Her mother's sobs echoed through the vents. They put me in here. The exact cadence of Mom's panic attacks. Mia pressed her ear to the plaster and heard something shuffle just behind it. She grabbed a crowbar. Drywall crumbled as she tore into the cavity. Dust swirled in her flashlight beam, revealing no pipes, no wires, just a grotesque nest of dead beetles and centipedes arranged in a perfect human silhouette. The insect's brittle legs still twitched as if recently alive. Then the house fell silent. Until 3:33 a.m. A new sound slithered through the heating ducts, Mia's own voice, but warped, whispering from every vent at once. You shouldn't have looked. The security system triggered. All 12 motion sensors flashed red at once. Something was moving through every room simultaneously. To be continued. The first time Noah saw it, he thought it was a trick of the light. A dark silhouette lingered just beyond his bathroom mirror's reflection as he brushed his teeth. When he turned, nothing was there. The next night, it appeared again, this time in his bedroom window, its featureless head tilted at an unnatural angle. Noah began documenting it. Day 1, the figure reached his shoulder height in the mirror. Day 2, its elongated fingers now brushed the top of the frame. Day 3, the crown of its head disappeared from view, as if standing on stilts. His therapist called it sleep deprivation. His security footage showed something else, the shadow remaining perfectly still for hours, then adjusting its posture only when Noah left the room. Always growing. Always watching. On the fourth night, Noah covered every mirror and drew the blinds. He fell into a fitful sleep, and woke to moonlight casting his shadow across the wall. Except it wasn't his. The silhouette stood facing the wrong direction, toward the bed instead of away, its neck craned downward to watch him sleep. As Noah screamed, it slowly turned its head to meet his gaze. To be continued. The first angry call came at 2:17 a.m. "Stop pounding on my door, you psycho." Mark's neighbor slurred through the phone. Mark stared at his security feed, he'd been asleep for hours. Yet the timestamp showed 2:15 a.m., a figure with his face stood on the neighbor's porch, slamming its fists against the wood. Then the messages flooded in. His gym buddy sent CCTV footage of Mark lifting weights at midnight, except the doppelgänger kept smiling while bench pressing double his normal weight, eyes never blinking. His barista forwarded a video of him ordering coffee, repeating the same phrase 12 times without taking a breath. The worst was the daycare footage. There, he stood outside the playground, waving at Mark's daughter with fingers too long, its grin splitting wider each time the child looked away. When Mark zoomed in, the thing's pupils were vertical slits. He bolted home to pack. The front door was unlocked. Inside, the TV played static. A half-drunk coffee steamed on the counter. And sitting at his kitchen table, wearing his favorite pajamas, chewing his nicotine gum, the imposter looked up and said, "I was wondering when you'd join us." To be continued. Snow crunched under tires as Sarah's Jeep skidded to a stop outside the abandoned ranger cabin. 5 states, 3 burner phones, and she still saw them in every crowd, those smiling faces wearing hers like cheap masks. The first footprint appeared at dawn. A single bare impression in fresh powder, circling the cabin exactly 7 times before vanishing at the doorstep. Each morning brought a new set, the toes elongating, the arches twisting impossibly high. Her motion cameras captured nothing but the results. On the 7th night, her phone lit up with a voicemail. From her own number. Dated next year. The playback erupted in static, then a voice that was almost hers screamed, "Asterisk, it's in the walls." Asterisk before dissolving into wet, gurgling laughter. The message ended with 3 clear knocks, matching the pattern now coming from her basement door. Sarah grabbed her rifle. The knocks synchronized with her heartbeat as she crept downstairs. The basement stood empty except for one addition, words finger-painted in something dark and sticky across the concrete. "We missed you." A floorboard creaked behind her. The camera slowly panned left, revealing the window. 2 familiar eyes stared back through the glass, Sarah's own hazel irises set in something else's face, as its mouth unhinged with a sound like snapping piano wires. Asterisk, the end. Asterisk.